Hey guys, this is Adrian from the Digital Dojos. Today we're going to be reviewing the Dell Mini 10 netbook, specifically the Dell Mini 1012. The Dell Mini 10 is a compact, lightweight, powerful netbook meant for the on-the-go user and offers a great, ideal computer for the students going to college and basic users alike. The Dell Mini 10 offers a 10.1-inch screen with up to 8.5 hours of battery life and comes with multiple upgrades in Bluetooth options, battery options, and starts right at $400. We'll be taking a look at the full tech specs and pros and cons. You can read the full review over at digitaldojos.com. And with that, guys, let's take a look at the laptop.
Alright guys, so we're going to start the review taking a look at the design and overview of it. So on the left side of the netbook here, you have 3 ports and an SD card slot. Your first port here is your VGA external support for a monitor, so you can hook it up to a monitor if you want to use it in desktop mode. You have 2 USB ports, 2.0 ports, and an SD card slot, more specifically an SDMS and MMC card slot. On the opposite side, the right side, you have your traditional 3.5 audio jacks, headphone and microphone, another USB 2.0 port, and an Ethernet port for your wired internet networking. On the back here, you have a Kensington lock to secure your netbook, and right above the battery and the hinge, under the hinge, you have a little vent on the back, and of course your charging port. Inside, you have your full QWERTY keyboard with your function keys, traditional for a laptop. You have a trackpad that's pretty wide, obviously touch enabled, and also click feedback. You also have an Intel Atom and Windows 7, in this case, starter sticker. Up here you have your 10.1-inch screen, and above that you have your 1.3 megapixel webcam with dual mics. So with that, guys, we go a look at the technical aspects of the netbook. So let's go over the tech specs of the Inspiron 1012 netbook. It features an Intel Atom processor, the N450. This is a 1.66 gigahertz processor at 512K of L2 cache. It features, the operating system wise, you have Windows 7. You can get Windows 7 Home Premium, or in this case you can get the Windows 7 Starter Edition. It comes with 1 gigabyte of DDR2 SD RAM. You can upgrade it to a total of 2 gigabytes of SD RAM at the bottom here. And you can it has a built-in video card wise, it has a built-in Intel NM10 Express video card. Display wise, you get a 10.1 inch. You can get the 10.1-inch regular LCD display at 1366 by 600, or you can get a 10.1-inch WS VGA display at 1024 by 600. Speakers, you have 2 1-watt, 2-channel high-def audio speakers built in, along with an integrated single mic at the top with the webcam. It has a 250 gigabyte SATA hard drive running at 5400 RPM. And you can only get an optical drive via external USB, via USB external CD drive. Now, battery life on this thing. So you get a battery packed up to 8 hours and 44 minutes with a 6-cell battery packed back here. You have an option of a 3-cell, 28 watt per hour lithium-ion battery. You also have a 6-cell, 56 watt hour lithium-ion battery. And you have another 6-cell, 60 watt hour lithium-ion battery, all available on certain configurations of the netbook. The camera, the built-in webcam up here, is 1.3 megapixels with its own, like I said, microphone built in. This is used wireless, obviously, to get your Wi-Fi connection. It has the Dell Wireless 1397 802.11G half mini card built in. It also features Bluetooth with the Dell Wireless 365 Bluetooth internal 2.1 mini card built inside the netbook. And obviously you have your traditional ports, which we will look at before this, so you guys already all saw those in the little shot before. And we're here looking at the Inspiron Mini. We're looking at the Windows 7 on the desktop here. And I want to mention a couple things. So I wanted to run a Geekbench score. If you guys know what Geekbench is, just run some benchmarks on in your PC, giving you a little bit of your system information and what the score is. So Geekbench scored 831, relatively low, obviously, but if you're comparing this to a desktop. But again, this is a netbook. It scored in terms of process integer performance, got a 790, and in terms of processor floating point performance, I'm just gonna zoom in here. You got a 655. Memory is where it got a little bit higher at 1068, and stream or memory bandwidth performance, it got 1122. So you can go ahead and scroll through here, and you can read all about the you can see all about the integer score, and it breaks it down into the CPU. You know, the tests it ran, along with the floating point section. I believe that deals with the hard drive. or did some sharpen image scaling and blur image scaling. Memory and the stream section, it did a lot of single-threaded scalars and vectors and all that stuff you guys can see here. Some of the stats here. So it breaks it down. I'll probably save this and I'll see if I can upload it for you guys to see. But, so again, that's the score. You guys, I know some people want to see that. This is, again, 831 for the Dell Mini Inspiron 1012. 831 is your final score on the Geekbench. Now, something else I want to show you guys. Zooming out here again, going back out. The Windows performance score. So the Windows Experience Index, pretty much. It scored a 2.3. Now, this is based off the lowest sub-score within the components. So the lowest subscore actually came from calculations per second within the CPU. So the CPU scored at a 2.3, which is pretty low. And again, this is dealing with an Intel Atom, which is underpowered and obviously only used in netbooks and small laptops. Memory scored a good 4.5. This is memory calculations per second. Desktop performance with Aero, that's graphics, scored a 3.0. Gaming graphics, so for 3D business and gaming performance, you got a 3.0 as well. And the highest you got actually on the primary hard disk or hard drive, disk data transfer rate transferred at 5.4. So at the highest subscore, you got a 5.4 index score. So this is your scores for the Windows Experience Index on the Dell Mini 10, 12, along with the Geekbench benchmarks for your again, the Dell Mini Inspiron 1012. So this is just some software showing you, or just some tests showing you how operating system wise how the hardware runs and stuff like that, and some tests. Alright, let's talk pros and cons about this Dell Mini 1012. So with this Inspiron 1012, first, let's start off with the cons. Obviously, it's a netbook. It's very, very portable. You're going to get that, obviously, with any notebook. But this weighs about 1.38 kilograms. Fits very nice in the hands, despite its kind of massive case design. You can see there has that slant design coming up towards the battery. Very, very portable. You can carry it, obviously, in your bag, your backpack, small carrying case, or even to your side. It doesn't add that much weight, and it does pack a punch, which is great. So it is a very, very portable device. It has a great, great battery life. That's another huge pro to it. Has around 8 hours I've gotten with the 6-cell battery. 8 hours give or take. I've watched some 720p content on it. I've done some web browsing. You know, all your basic stuff, you probably won't kill the battery doing your basic web browsing, email, documents, etc. Maybe if you're watching 720p or 1080p content daily, you know, if you're on a plane ride or, you know, a trip, maybe you'll run the battery down on the 8-hour life to maybe 7 or 6 hours. Other than that, it does still a great performance in terms of battery. Display. If you shell out the extra cash for the WSVGA display, you're gonna get a really high-res screen on a netbook. One of the best I've seen, anyways. You can get really good content on your 720, or you get really good colors and contrast on your 720p content, along with just, you know, wallpaper. Everything just looks decently nice on this netbook screen, and it kind of matches with the whole glossy design. Really, really nice for a 10.1-inch screen on a netbook. And again, it's really great for you if you were going to watch movies or something like that, because another pro I want to mention is the design kind of goes both ways, pro and con. But one thing I like about the design is the build of the hinges that hold the display together is very, very sturdy. What I mean by that, if you ever had a laptop and when you're on a car ride or you're, you know, in motion, you kind of get that screen to wobble. You know, when it kind of wobbles when you're moving around. You'll notice on the netbook it's really, really sturdy in terms of even tapping it, you won't really cause the display to kind of wobble back and forth. And it's really good for you if you're on like a car ride or you're taking this on the go, obviously because it's a netbook, and you're watching movies, you're not going to get that screen kind of swiveling back and forth. That's the great thing. So the build is really, really great, especially within the hinges around the display. So it's great for movie experience and stuff like that. Windows 7 wise, it runs Windows 7. Mine's running Windows 7 Starter. It runs Windows 7 Home Premium really, really well. Windows 7 is already a light operating system, and on a netbook it runs decent. I mean, you're gonna get decent speeds. You're not gonna see really much of a slowdown. Windows 7 runs fine on it. Again, you're running Home Premium and/or Starter, so you're running a very slimmed down version of Windows 7. You're not running like Professional or anything like that. But you do get your key features, and it runs Windows fine. You can go up to 2 gigs of RAM on this netbook, and Windows 7 handles that all just well for your main applications like documents, again, video, web browsing. Connectivity-wise, you get a decent amount of connectivity options on here. So obviously you have the one USB port, like we mentioned earlier. You have 3 USB ports in total. You have an SD card slot for reading media. You know, if you're using your if you're taking photos on the go and you're taking this netbook, you can go wired if you want to go wired. Sorry, you can go wired if you want to go wired in the Ethernet, or you can use wireless. You have, again, built-in 802.11, I want to say G, I believe. You also have, obviously, Bluetooth, and you can also hook up to an external monitor with a VGA cord, or, again, if you want an adapter, you can buy an adapter to hook up to a external monitor if you want to dock your netbook or anything like that. So huge pros in the connectivity-wise. It has a lot of options to connect to multiple devices, and it has a lot of wireless or Bluetooth options as well built into the netbook. So with that, let's move into the cons of the netbook. Some things I've noticed. Build-wise, I don't like the whole, it's kind of chunky in terms of the way it's designed. You can see there, it kind of, as it goes up, as the laptop or netbook kind of goes up, it gets chunkier in the back. One, due to the battery, and due to this back hinge they just added right here behind the display, which you kind of hold it by, kind of like a handle. But it makes it a little bit more hefty. You also have your Kensington lock and charger back here, down in, granted in the back. But your battery takes a big space of the backs of the netbook, and it kind of makes it look just thicker in the back, and it has a massive looking case design. Fingerprints are kind of prone on this glossy type of material, that goes with any type of plasticky material. It's not, hugely dense in terms of the wrist, where you rest your wrist. They gave you more wrist room compared to the Dell Mini 9. But it's kind of, you can kind of flex the plastic if you push in hard enough, and same with the display on the top, you can kind of flex the plastic in. So, the plastic isn't the greatest, but it does decent. It does run warm. This is a fanless netbook. There's no fans inside this, so it does kind of push the netbook to run a little bit hot. You obviously have vents on the bottom here, but it still does tend to run hot if you're doing intensive stuff, like maybe you're watching a lot of 720p content, or maybe you're doing small editing within Movie Maker or anything like that. The fanless design kind of tends to make the netbook run a little warm, so that is a pretty big con. Other than that, though, that's really much that's the most cons I could really find in the laptop. Other than that, it does a really great job of what it does, because netbooks aren't made for video editing, gaming, anything like that. You shouldn't buy this product expecting it's gonna run those fine. Other than that, it does a really great job. You can upgrade it, like I said, you can upgrade to 2 gigs of RAM. You have a lot of storage in here, about 250 gig of storage, so you have a lot of space for your music, your movies, and your documents. So, those are the pros and cons of the laptop. Let's get on to the final notes. Alright, so to sum it up, my final thoughts on the Inspiron Mini. Hardware-wise, it is a decent netbook. It has a lot of stuff packed in from the Atom processor and the RAM and the Windows 7. It all runs pretty efficiently, running with a great 10.1-inch display. It starts at $399. You can upgrade it and get it with different. Obviously, you can get different modifications. You get the high definition display. You can get Bluetooth added in, etc. So that can take the price up. It does come in multiple colors, so if that's your thing, you can get it in multiple designs and colors rather than black. It comes in blue, red, and multiple assortment of colors. It is a great netbook in terms of if you're taking this on the go, if you're a student and you need just something small to type up documents on, and or watch videos, browse the web, check email, or if you just need something to replace a laptop, or you don't want something as heavy as a laptop, you don't really want a tablet. The netbook category obviously fits in there. The Inspiron Mini is a great media in terms of device. It's a great media device. It can run 720p content pretty well. You have a built-in, again, a 1.3-inch megapixel camera, which is decent enough for your average video calling and stuff like that. Again, it's the netbook form factor. You get about almost a full-size keyboard here. A lot of palm rest. I personally didn't like the trackpad as much. The middle click, it had physical clicking on the left and right. The middle was kind of, you can't really physically click down in the middle. It's touch sensitive, so you can use your touch commands. Obviously, you can scroll using 2 fingers. Or sorry, you can scroll using the sides, not 2 fingers. You can use the sides of on the right of the trackpad, and really it just took me a while to get accustomed to that. I'm not a huge fan of laptops personally, or netbooks, but I do have to say this netbook has a great battery life. Again, coming in around at 8 hours average is what I got. It doesn't come with too much bloatware. It has some Dell, proprietary dock software and some antivirus software. Other than that, not too much bloatware. Has a huge hard drive at 250 gigabyte hard drive. So you get a pretty powerful performer, and it's great for mobile entertainment and all that. Really the biggest cons, I'm going to say, the CPU is only running again at 1.66 gigahertz. It's Intel Atom. So again, don't expect to do anything CPU intensive. The graphics are decent, but again, nothing intensive can really be done on here. Just your basic, again, run-of-the-mill stuff from browsing to maybe small games, nothing major. And documents, email, all of that sort of daily stuff that you would do on a regular computer. All form factored into this really small, tiny, lightweight, compact Dell Mini 1012. Overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 on my rating. You can read the full review, text, pictures, etc. over at digitaldojos.com. Again, check out our other videos for more content. It really helps if you guys can go ahead and thumbs up, like the video, comment below on your opinion if you had this. Love to see some video responses, what you personally think about the laptop. I'm going to go ahead and recommend it to you if you are looking for a netbook, just for, again, run-of-the-mill student and or average user. If you're going to be looking for something, if you still want something a little bit more powerful, there are some other alternatives out there, but from all the other alternatives, you're not going to get that 8-hour battery life. So if you're somebody that depends on battery life, you want your machine running long, and you want a decent size screen running decent video at 720p, this will do you totally fine. Again, if you're looking for something more powerful, this may not be the netbook for you. Anyways, guys, again, 7 out of 10 on the rating. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. This is Adrian here, signing out for Digital Dojos. You can check out all of our content again at digitaldojos.com. I'll catch you guys next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy content like this, find more content over at digitaldojos.com. You can follow me on Twitter at KidGrew. And as always, don't forget to comment, like the video, and subscribe.